The clock struck 11:30 p.m. on New Year's Eve, and the city was alive with anticipation. Streets glowed with fairy lights, laughter echoed from every corner, and fireworks waited to paint the sky. But amidst the celebration, a young woman sat alone on a cold park bench, her coat barely shielding her from the biting wind. She stared at the ground, clutching a crumpled letter in her trembling hands. Her face was pale, her eyes swollen from hours of crying. The letter had arrived that morning, and its words had shattered her world. It was from her fiancé, who was supposed to be her partner for life. He had written that he couldn't go through with the wedding, that he had found someone else who made him truly happy. She had planned everything: the dress, the flowers, the vows. She had dreamed of their future together, of a life filled with love and laughter. And now, all of it was gone. The betrayal cut deeper than she thought possible, leaving her feeling hollow and unworthy. As the minutes ticked by, she wondered if she would ever feel whole again. The park, once her favorite place, now felt like a cruel reminder of the happiness she no longer had. Couples strolled by, holding hands, their joy a stark contrast to her despair. At 11:50 p.m., she decided to leave. She couldn't bear to watch the fireworks, a symbol of hope and renewal, when her heart was so heavy. But as she stood, an old man approached her. His face was weathered, his clothes simple, and his eyes held a kindness that was both comforting and unsettling. "Young lady," he said softly, "why are you here alone on a night like this?" She hesitated but found herself pouring out her story. The words spilled out, raw and unfiltered, as if she had been waiting for someone, anyone, to listen. The old man nodded, his expression thoughtful. "Life," he said after a pause, "has a way of surprising us. Sometimes, what feels like the end is only a new beginning." She wanted to believe him, but the pain was too fresh. She shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "How can I start again when I've lost everything?" The man reached into his pocket and pulled out a small, worn envelope. "Take this," he said, pressing it into her hand. "Open it at midnight, and you'll understand." Confused but too tired to argue, she accepted the envelope. The man smiled and walked away, disappearing into the crowd. As the clock struck midnight, the first firework lit up the sky. She hesitated, then opened the envelope. Inside was a photograph of a young girl, no older than 5, standing in front of a modest house. On the back were the words, "Your mother was abandoned too, but she chose to fight for you. You are stronger than you think. Love, Dad." Her breath caught in her throat. The man's face flashed in her mind, and she realized why he had looked so familiar. It was her father, someone she hadn't seen in years, someone she thought had abandoned her and her mother when she was a child. A wave of emotions crashed over her: shock, anger, and an overwhelming sense of clarity. Her mother had raised her alone, had fought through heartbreak to give her a good life. And now, she was faced with the same choice: to crumble under the weight of her pain or to rise above it. The fireworks painted the sky in brilliant colors, and for the first time that night, she smiled. The betrayal still hurt, but she knew she could survive it. If her mother could endure, so could she. The moral of the story: pain and betrayal can break you, but they can also make you stronger. Life's hardest moments often reveal the strength you didn't know you had.